Hello everyone and welcome to Mentos Plays, the Our Darker Purpose. I believe it is considered in beta right now, although it is not feature complete just yet. But yeah, I've been playing the alpha on and off for a while since it was released. It was just put out to be allowed to post videos of the game just today. So I want to take a quick look at this game at least, and we will be able to, from there, show what we can do. So of course there are a variety of different things that we can't really show off just yet due to the way that we're going right now. I don't want the mini-map on the corner of in the middle of the screen there. Although it looks like my options are either that or totally off the screen, which is a bit different than last time I played. So, if you're looking at this game and you're thinking that it's kind of similar to Binding of Isaac in terms of control scheme and in terms of the look, you're not entirely wrong. You move around with WASD, you shoot with the arrow keys, and you go from room to room, defeating enemies, collecting items, etc. But there is a lot that sets this game apart from Binding of Isaac. So we will get into those things more as we move on. I apologize if it's blatantly apparent that I am sweating a bit because it is quite hot in my room right now. So one of the things that is kind of this game's own mechanic is the roll, which allows you to rapidly get away from your enemies. It's actually very important to learn how to use the roll well. I'm not sure what that R button thing is actually. That has been added since the last time I played. This is a pretty updated version from the last time I and I made an effort to play into this alpha. Whoop, Norden happened, and now I'm tweaking out a bit. There we go. Okay. We have a lot of these chalkboards, no enemies except for, oh god, this is a horrible room. I hate you, room. But there's a chest at the end. What do you have in you, chest? I have to pick up. 10% dodge, adds general anxiety. I'm not sure exactly what that means, if we just have a chance to not take damage on getting hit or what. And that was a horrible room in terms of damage taken. Pretty much unacceptably bad. We do have an extra juice box here, so we can pop a heal for 20 and then grab this next juice box. And in here we have this vending machine, which will allow us to trade credits that you can pick up for items. +1 chalk. Your chalk clouds now fire arrows. Interesting. And Fragile Bear. Max resist destroyed after taking 30 damage. That's kind of cool. So yeah, all the items in this game are not necessarily the same as Isaac in terms of, just all-around bonuses. A lot of them are kind of not necessarily situational, but there are a lot more details in terms of there are 3 different classes of enemies which you can have variable amounts of buffs and debuffs to. There are also, where was I going with that? Okay, one second. Where the chalk cloud ends, +5% move speed, double the likelihood of a memory room per floor. Or call the wild furniture, +10% attack speed, deal 20% more damage against bosses. That sounds really good. So we're going to take that. I'm not entirely sure what a memory room is. I kind of am unaware of that. So this is one of the early game bosses in the game so far, which is some harmless markings. So the first stage of the fight is this creature kind of moving around the screen, coming at you from... Oop, gotta do some dodging here. Coming at you around the chalkboards in the class, which are all firing at you. And then eventually it comes out of the chalkboards to attack you more close up, and you are much more easily able to damage it. Oop, took some more stupid damage. We're going to try to hit her when she gets to this chalkboard. Very good. I think that might be the only hit before she comes back out again. Yep, she is down here at the bottom. So thankfully when she comes out of the chalkboard stop firing their shots, which makes things much easier. Although we are still taking an absurd amount of damage. I apologize, I have not played this in a while, as I mentioned. But yeah, so this is a very much more kind of RPG-esque roguelike in the sense that it has a lot of different classes of enemies which have different stats that you can build against them, stuff along those lines that really opened up to have a lot more variable items in terms of, it might be really effective on one type of floor but not on another, which we'll get into after we beat this boss, by the way. For right now, I want to finish this off. Perfect. Okay, so now, let's see, is there any rooms that we haven't been to? There is one. I think it is worth it to go to that. You do get these memories, as they put it, which have various different storyline information about the game. It actually has a very kind of rich world to it, which is something uncommon for roguelikes like this, and something that I do really enjoy seeing. Where is this room? It's to the left and then up. Okay. Wait, what? Am I crazy, or does it show a door up here? Ooh. I'm not sure what that just did to me. And I'm assuming that this is a memory room. What the memory room has actually done, I don't know, though. Okay. We didn't get anything out of there. So as you see, there are 4 chapters there. Oh, we do have an extra one of those things on R, whatever that does. I'm still not entirely sure. I think that might be chalk. With the item talking about the chalk clouds, that actually makes a lot of sense. We currently have just the one item, one perk, no lessons, 10% chance of dodge. So as you see, there is a very detailed character screen here. What I'm trying to find is if there is, I forget, does this show how many coins we have? Yes, it does, up there in the top right of it. Okay, so we are going to now move on to the next floor, and I will show another one of the mechanics that kind of sets this game on its own path, which is that once you complete a level, you get a rating based on how much damage you've taken, how many enemies you've defeated, how much time it took, etc. Depending on that, you're going to get an amount of credits that will be used toward perks, which we will show off in just a little bit. Now, when it comes to after beating a level, you get choices for the next level you want to go to. You can have different types of enemies. I got deselected on the window somehow. There we go. You have different types of enemies that you can come across, which is so yeah, these are different options. They can have different main enemies in them, as well as they have different types of layouts depending on what type of level they are. There are several different base types of worlds that you can run into. Cafeterias, dorms, stuff like that, that will have various different layouts to them. As you saw, there are also different points behind different quirks to the levels there. One of these was listed as underlit, which I wasn't very much interested in trying to take on. The other one, the one that we took, was listed as leaderless, which I am not sure the exact implications of that. It might mean that it has no champion enemies. I'm not sure. But either way, we are going to try to figure that out while we're on this floor. These things are taking much longer to kill than I would have expected. Gar! Die, you stupid caltrop throwers. There we go. So now we can move on. But yeah, the difference in floors and the fact that you can select them as you go. Okay, yeah, that is chalk. Okay. Student treaty on use slows enemy for 2 seconds. My manuscript converts next to your text to flurries of paper. I really kind of want that. I enjoy that item from what I've used of it before. But yeah, you do have to make some decisions. Some enemy types are more difficult than others, as well as some are going to have more difficult layouts and different types of difficulties to the floors that you're actually going to. But those are going to come with increased rewards for the more difficult ones. So there is a lot of balance, not just in your actual play of the game, but also in your decisions on where to move on to next, and stuff like that. Essentially, if you want to compare this to Isaac, you can look at the different floors as, Curse of Darkness, Curse of the Lost, Curse of whatever the case may be. And you can look at also the different floor selections as being almost an ability to choose between a harder, let's say, harder Necropolis or an easier Depths, depending on your knowledge of the different floors and what they offer. So it does offer you a little bit of strategizing in terms of what's more important, an easier floor that you're more likely to survive, or a harder floor that's going to get you closer to your next perk. There are also a lot of traps. These furnaces that spit fire are one of them. And between that and the Caltrop girls, this room is getting very hard to navigate. We really need to start killing some more stuff. At least we got the little shooters down. There is a lot of lore behind each type of enemies and what they and why they attack the way they do, what's going on with them, as well as a lot of stuff to discover about what's going on with the school. We aren't going to dive too deeply into that right now, because to actually take the time to read through all that stuff and go over thoughts on it and everything would take a lot away from gameplay, which is what I want to show off in this video. As mentioned, we just got the Kickstarter update today saying that early access backers were allowed to post videos on the game. And seeing as I really hope to see this game get greenlit, I decided that I would jump onto making a video of it the first day it was possible, which would show off the game a bit, and the link to the Greenlight page will be in the description if you want to vote it up. I highly recommend it. Destroyed in? What? No. Why is there a maze? I don't like you, maze. But I'm going to get to this item. I swear it. I'm going to get it. No, blobs, go away. Go away. I don't like you, blobs. Thank you. Attacking also creates bubbies. Bubbles. My bad. Fang poisonous and generate electric shocks. Ooh. I like this. This is a cool item. So there are quite a few items that are going to change up just your basic attack, as well as others that are going to increase your stats in various ways. Obviously that one is one more focused on switching up the attack method instead of focusing on actual stat increases. Now, obviously these all have their benefits of their own right. This is a confusing room to dodge. This game is definitely not simple. The first floor usually isn't too bad to make it through, but, it's the first floor. Of course, it's not that bad to make it through. Ooh, I dodged that one. That's helpful. I did not dodge that one. It should also be added that your rolls don't offer you full invincibility while you're rolling, so you do have to use them to get out of the way of stuff, not just to move through stuff. It's not like Dark Souls where you're able to kind of roll through attacks for safety. We should definitely use a juice box here. We are out of juice boxes, in fact. We only have 6 coins, which is not that great so far. Got rid of that guy real quick. This is actually a pretty easy room to handle. This is actually very reminiscent of an Isaac room. I won't lie about that one. I think anyone who's played enough Isaac knows exactly the ones that I'm talking about. But this is a very fun game. I know I am using Isaac comparisons a lot, but that is because obviously a lot more people have played Isaac than this game that's in alpha or in beta that only Kickstarter backers have had access to yet. So it is a decent comparison to kind of push the ideas of the game across without trying to describe them in terms that people aren't familiar with. So that is why I've been using that as a comparison, not because this is overly similar to Isaac, because it's really not. The basic mode of things is, but it's not anywhere near all that similar to Isaac in the long term. Kind of like a lot of games that use voxels get the, oh, it's just a Minecraft knockoff type thing. I worry that this game will get a little bit of that same hate of being, too Isaac-like, but really it has a lot that sets itself apart that I think is very much more important than the stuff that is similar. You ever think it's odd how fireballs just bounce right off us? Yeah, we've noticed that too. Lightning too. Yup. Some pretty impressive burlap in these sacks. So that's one of the nice things about this game that's really fun to just mess around with while you're playing. Ooh, I have never seen this boss before. This guy is scary. He made it dark. It's dark in here, and I have almost no health. Oops, I keep walking on caltrops. Oh god, we're gonna die on this boss. We are going to die. Yep, there we go. Holy cow, that was loud thunder. Anyway, we are going to jump back in just a moment. I want to show off the class schedule here is where you get your different perks. So far, only 3 are showing for me. I believe more can be unlocked. And we get the choice of 2 of them. We only have 1 credit, so we don't have anywhere near enough to afford anything. But, you know, gain 50% range when standing still, gain up to 20% extra crit chance when near enemy, start with 2 extra juice boxes. These are all things that are going to be very useful to you in the game that you have to get enough points to unlock, which allows you probably to make it through more difficult later areas a little simpler. Oops, that was real stupid of me, so was that. But yes, this game is on Greenlight. I will link it in the description. I highly recommend voting for this. I think it's a game that pretty much anyone who enjoyed Isaac will enjoy. It has its own unique flair to it while still having a bit of familiarity to the feel. And I supported this game actively while I was on Kickstarter. I know I've got 3 episodes up of the pre-alpha demo that was out during the Kickstarter. I've already got those up there. This is the first one of the current in-progress version, which has changed a lot from that pre-alpha demo, I should add. But if you want to check those videos out as well, you can. They're still on the channel, obviously. What do we have from this vending machine? Fragile Roly-Poly. Gain 50% dodge on roll, destroyed after taking 30 damage. That's not bad. And a lot of items in this game do have that kind of qualifier of this will work like this, but once you take X amount of damage it breaks. So that is something that you should be aware of when you're looking at items. Don't just look at the effect and move on. Make sure you pay attention to what is going on otherwise. Now this red dude here is a champion who, unless something has changed since the last version I played, should give us an item upon his death. I should probably be taking out this little dude here first, because he is going to be much easier to kill. Although these are not the most threatening enemies right now. And so, you know, both of the floors that we got last time we had kind of treasure rooms on, where we had to accomplish a certain challenge and we got an item for it. This floor, unless I have a room that I've missed, which we'll check the minimap for once we are in a safe area, this floor doesn't seem to have one of those, but we also have a champion here, who I believe is going to give us an item once we kill him, which he is very close to dying. He did. This is gain Thorns effect, damage to enemies on contact. That's always a useful ability to have. It means that if you're taking damage, at least you can be giving damage too. Let's check our mini-map here real quick. There is a hidden room up at the top here, if I am right. Yep. We can inspect that. We can inspect probably something else if it's like the last one. Yes. There's a coin underneath that. I wonder if this is like inspect as much as you can before everything in the room is destroyed. That seems to be it. I'm not sure what the benefits of going through all that are, but... Okay, and here we have Frothy the Dragon, who is the boss who was... Holy cow thunder! Who is the boss who was in the pre-alpha demo. This guy is quite fun to fight. I really enjoy the boss design. Well, actually I should say I really enjoy the art design in general in this game. But I've always had kind of a special enjoyment of Frothy's design as a boss. He's just this kind of makeshift, cobbled together cardboard box with some tubes and stuff attached to it. And yet somehow he is flying and he is trying to kill you, causing fire to shoot out. It's just a really cool boss design, which is something that I feel this game has as a real strong suit. Music design and graphically it is wonderfully, it is a brilliantly designed game. And I enjoy the crap out of looking at it all the time. I enjoy, seeing new things I hadn't seen before because I find the designs awesome enough to keep it interesting. So the design is definitely a real strong point in this game. Not to say the gameplay is bad, but visually and musically, this game is definitely a very high quality one. We're not doing as great as I would like to against Frothy. This fire is really cramping my style. Oop. Well, it looks like we got a critical hit on the Thorns damage, which is actually kind of awesome. But Frothy is not an easy boss. Just because I have more experience against him than other bosses does not mean he is the easiest one, by any means. You will notice that you probably don't generally run across items quite as often in Our Darker Purpose as in some other roguelikes. Isaac, even to some extent, something like a... sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought there. To some extent, even something like, a... crap, what's the game that I wanted to point out? Delver's Drop doesn't really have items implemented yet, so that can't work. Although it is going to have items. I am sorry, I completely spaced out on what roguelike type game I was about to compare this to, and now it just won't come to me. I know I have played it before, and I know I have played something that I want to compare it to, but essentially the difference here is, although it seems like you are guaranteed at least an item per floor, it's not multiple. Obviously this is somewhat accounted for with the perks that you get from leveling up, the perks you get from lesson plans as you do better at the game and get further, and as well as, the juice boxes are a lot more common than health up pills and everything in something like Isaac. So we have very similar things here. We've got a wealthy one over here, which is to your left, suggests a skirmish with one of Edgewood's egalitarian dispensary devices here. Survivors may have scooped up some tokens in the progress. Versus the floor is particularly well lit. Well, it will be easier for you to see who's about to eat you. Let's go to that one. This one sounds nice and friendly, and it's bright, and I don't have to worry about being able to see things. I like the sound of this floor. So we are going to go through here. I should also add that the lore behind this game and the different things that you unlock is really well written. Like I said, I'm mostly not paying attention to that because this is a show of gameplay more than anything to kind of encourage green light votes, which I think this game highly deserves. But I will in a future video kind of show off a bit of the writing in terms of the stuff like that. One flew under the range attack, 20% move speed. Versus Zen in the Art of Pummeling for plus 50 life. We're going to go with move speed. I feel like being able to move quicker will allow me to get out of more damage than 50 health will let me absorb. It is raining really hard right now. So we need to try to take out these guys first, obviously, because they are the biggest threat to us. Wow, this storm. I think if I suddenly disappear, this video is not going to save, but if it does save and I suddenly disappear, then the issue is probably a lack of power or something along those lines. Just want to give you a heads up in case I suddenly cut this video short. Hopefully nothing like that is going to come up, but in case it does, I want you to be aware. So yeah, I've been playing this alpha since it was available on and off. Generally speaking, I haven't played too many of the alphas I'm in all that often. I prefer to kind of give them a little bit of time to mature and get closer to a finished state before I jump into them too thoroughly. Mostly because the game is very enjoyable either way, but it's in a way good in its own right to kind of have a lot of new stuff added between views. Okay, so this thing is... So one of these guys is shooting out lightning. It's shaking the screen on me when that thing in the middle goes off. And things are getting kind of crazy in here. And I got something on my tongue. Yeah. I think I got a hair from my beard stuck in my tongue there. Or on my tongue, I guess I should say. It wasn't really in it, but... yeah. Oh god, I'm almost close to death. This guy should die. We'll get an item from him. And this is the etch +1 chalk. Your chalk clouds now fire arrows. Excellent. We should be checking the map more often in case there are hidden rooms. With 8 things, we could go for my manuscript. Sudsy's ice tray, enemies shatter when destroyed. I'm not really sure how much that is useful. But we're going to get a disquieting drought here. Essentially what this does is it's going to give us an extra juice box, an extra max juice box capacity, and it's going to give our juice boxes some additional effect, whether that's, increased stat or whatever. So it is definitely something that is worth the 8 tokens in my opinion. I'm going to try to avoid using any juice boxes till the boss fight so we get that benefit there. We do get back up to our full amount of juice boxes now. And see, now I'm starting to worry because I started recording this when I didn't have as much time as I thought I could possibly need. But I figured with the version being updated so much since the last time I played, I probably wouldn't last all that long. And now the second run, we're getting close to a point where I am going to be running right on the edge of when I'm going to have to cut it off for other reasons besides actually being able to record, which is unfortunate if that happens. Because I will kind of be preoccupied with some other stuff I got to take care of, and so I would have to cut off the recording. But my hope is that we will run into a room that is very difficult and that I will die before that happens, but I am also going to try my best not to die because I don't want to throw this game just because I'm running low on recording time. Oh, I forgot that thing went off when you shot it. That could have been bad. I don't know if this actually hurts enemies or not. I know it hurts me for quite a lot actually. So that just so the disquieting drought I got seemed to have just increased healing amounts. I didn't see any message saying that I got a certain stat increase from it, which is a little bit different if that's the norm than last time I played. Roll underneath that guy. These blobs are kind of jerks. Okay, and we are going to go through here. I do believe they are hoping to have the beta of this game purchasable in the relatively near future. Oh, it's this guy again. I'm going to use chalk to block some projectiles and maybe fire some arrows. That actually worked really effectively. Thank you, chalk. We're going to do that again. The Candelabra of Longing. That just sounds like a really depressing name, doesn't it? You know what? We are going to come over here and we are going to hit R. And that failed kind of miserably, but he jumped into it, and we might beat this floor. The bosses are randomized. I know we've seen this guy twice, but obviously the first time we got some harmless markings. This time we got frothy. Yes! Okay, and now here we have our first really major branching path. We can go fight the wound wards in the cafeteria, a leaderless room in the wound wards cafeteria, or an underlit room with brogs in the cafeteria. We are going to go with this one over here. I can't actually remember which characters these imply. Yeah, that's what I was worried about, is this is the strong ones. So these guys are more of a direct attack, melee attack, strength-based enemy. Whereas ooh god. Whereas the other one that we were able to do was the Brogs, who were more like the ones that we were facing off in the last couple floors that we selected, who are more of the defensive and item-driven types. The last type, which we haven't run into, is the Capulets, which is a group based around magic-type attacks. This is a real bad layout. I don't like this one bit. This guy's Shock Cloud is getting dangerously close. In fact, we may be kind of almost trapped. I should probably kill this guy first, he's easier, but whatever. We've done more damage to this guy, I guess. There he goes. That makes things substantially easier. Go away, thank you. God damn you. Die, you fool. Die, die, die. Okay. Come on. I do have to say, I think that even in this unfinished early beta stage where it's not quite feature complete yet, this game is a very worthwhile thing. If it does go on sale in the near future before I have another video up of this on the way, I do recommend purchasing it. Minus 30 life adds an extra life versus 10% move speed, gain 20% move speed when not damaged for 5 seconds. We're going to take the Kite Runner kites. First of all, because the enhanced move speed is something that I've obviously told preference for before. Secondly, because when you get something like minus 30 life, it doesn't just take off your max life, it takes off your max life and it takes off your current held life as well, unless that has changed since my last experience with it. And so it not only would have set us to 70 when we got a new life, but it would have brought us to 18 for the life that we have now. Which of course is a net gain in the long run, but not by enough to justify it in my opinion. Smiley face, 15% crit chance. Annoying metal puzzle, 30% slow on hit. I wish we could afford that. So we are going to come around here. We want to head to the room to the left here. See what's going on. Okay, these chair throwing enemies are real annoying, especially in a room that has these cloud dudes in it as well. We are going to, oh god, we're going to be trapped and we are not going to do very well. Okay, maybe I should be focusing on these guys, even though that's a bad decision because this chick can hit us from across the map easily. The clouds are easier to dodge. Oh god, we've got 10 health left, we got no juice boxes. I see this going south really quick. Let's kill this lady. Thank you. That makes things much easier. Just one of these cloud dudes is not so bad. I do like that everything is grounded in all the different items and stuff you run into are things like, you know, chalk or whatever the case may be, that severely show off kind of the versatility of using more realistic items. Come on, open, open, thank you. Just F to pick up. Max resist destroyed after taking 30 damage. Well, by the time we take 30 damage, we'll have been dead by about 20, so I don't think we have to worry about that teddy bear breaking. I do like the little sound effect, Zelda style, showing that we're very low on health. I wish I had something I could do about that. Unfortunately, I do not. This room might be a room that causes me problems. Okay, we're doing fine so far. We're lucky that these chair throwers are pretty much in sync with how they're throwing their chairs, because it is making it much easier to get out of the way of them. But it's also meaning, oh god. Luckily we resisted that damage because of our teddy bear, which helps us stay alive just a little bit longer. Come on, die, 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 die. Someone die! Please! That's all I ask is you die. Wait, are there 3 of these or 2 of them? I think only 2. Okay, that was real close. Come on, die. Thank you. So we've still got 7 health. Which is enough to survive briefly. This is a very thin room filled with these girls, which is not the easiest thing to deal with. But with them being in the room on their own, it's not as hard as it could be. We got some chalk for that. Let's get out of the way. And you know what, seeing as I'm going to have to cut this video short soon either way, we are going to go fight the boss, which is a really cool Sudsy the Inanimate. Ice-based boss who is, oh dear lord! Well, that ended quickly. I've never seen that boss before, and it did not go well for me. So, with that, we are going to call this episode of Mentos Plays, the Our Darker Purpose beta, quits. As mentioned, the link to the Greenlight page will be in the description of the video. I highly encourage everyone to go give it a vote, because it definitely deserves it. It's a very well-designed roguelike, it's very fun, And you will probably, well, you will definitely see more of this on the channel, probably more in its current beta state. Definitely more come the time that it is in full version. For now, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next episode. Later everyone, take care.